Hello there again, Mr. Nelson here, working on our secret box. So I'm going to flip the screen down again so you can see the parts here, but I'll continue giving you instruction as we go through this. Alrighty, yesterday we worked on putting these support pieces down here for the false bottom that you're going to be putting in. So you should have these pieces all installed. Now the next part that we're going to do is to go ahead and start putting the sides and the front and back together. To do that, you're going to want to have your nails, you're going to want to have a hammer, and probably a tape measure on you. So let's go through how this is going to go together again, just so we understand. So if these are our sides, this is going to be our front and back. This is going to go there. This is going to fit here. Whoop. It all comes crashing down. This is going to fit here. And then finally, this is going to fit here. These are called, this cutout right there, that's called a dado joint. D-A-D-O, dado joint. And when I look in there again, I notice that both of my supports are both on the same side. So they're mirror images of each other. So that's correct how I have it set up right there. Okay, so I'm going to want to nail this together. I'm going to need to go through my sides into my front and back here. So I'm going to take these off, push that down just for a moment, and concentrate on my sides. So I'm going to want because these pieces are 3/4 of an inch thick, I'm going to want to be putting my nails down here along my side 3/8 of an inch. 3/8 is half of 3/4. So I'm just going to make some marks along here at about 3/8. Now here's a little trick for you that I may have talked to you about before, but it's hard for me to see where the 3/8 is here at the edge because I have my hook here. But if I put it at the 1 inch mark, it's really easy to see from there over to here that that's where I need to go. And then I'm going to put another one here. And I'm just going to do it down on this side too. Down here, somewhere about in the middle. I'm going to be putting 3 nails in along each side. So, and these are just sort of rough estimates where I'm going to put this. I'll be able to sand all this off later on anyways. So I want to make this about 1 inch down from the top. I want to make the second one halfway down. And then this last one, I'm going to have 1 1/4 inches from the bottom. And so I'm going to do the same down here. This one I have 1 inch. This one I have halfway through. This one I'm going to put 1 1/4 inches up from the bottom. So I'm going to have my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to do a layout and do the same on to this side. So for this, I'm going to start by getting, remember you have 2 different size nails in here. You have your 1 inch nails, which we use to put in our support pieces there. Then you have your longer nails. These may be either 1 1/4 or 1 1/2 inches. I don't want to use the 1 inch nails. I want to use the longer ones for putting all of these together. So I'm going to grab my longer nails, keeping my shorter ones in the bag because I don't want to, because I only have so many of those. Now, here's a little trick. We want to start our nails before we put it together. If we have the nails started, it's going to be a whole lot easier to put our sides together. So a little trick you can do is I'm going to put this over on top, and when I slide that over, it fits directly over that one. Now I'm going to take my nail, and the reason I do this is if I push down, it's going to tip down like that. but if I have the support piece under there, it's going to hold it in place. So I'm going to take my hammer and just wrap that in place and along all three of them. All right, so I have those three nails started. Now I'm just going to turn this around, do the same on this side. Now, if I bend a nail while I'm doing this, nail gets bent over. Either A, don't go any further, stop, and try to bend the nail back. Or if I bend a nail all the way over, that's what the claw of the hammer can do. I can pull this nail out. You can try to straighten that one out if you can with your hammer. And if not, you have a few extra nails in here. Just put another nail in there. But don't be bending the nails over and bend them over there at the final. It's not going to look very good if you do that. All right, so I've got this side set up. I'm going to do the same over here to get both of these set up. And then I'll talk about how to nail them into the front and the back. Okay, I have my two sides all set up. And you may be asking, how was I able to support this one? Because these two, remember, I turned over like that. What I did for this side is I put it in between my front and back like so. So there's a little gap under there. That's okay, just as long as I have the support here as I'm nailing it down. So that may be an idea for you for doing that. Okay, so now I have that. So we're going to start by nailing two of these together. Actually, this whole setup like so. So I'm just going to set this up and making sure that it's nice and flush right there at the top. Now I'm just going to start by nailing one of these down. So it's a little wobbly at first, but once I get nailing here, then it starts to fall in place. I'm going to turn it around. I'll get that last one in just a moment. Again, the same thing. Now it's flush on the side there. Nice and flush before I hammer it down finally. I'm going to put one more last one down here. Now, before I finish out here, because it may be difficult, I just want to double check. This is where my bottom's going to go in, and I have this rabbet or dado cut that's down here along the whole bottom, and my top is all this full-size pieces here. If I got one of my pieces turned around, I still have time to be able to take the nails out and be able to make the adjustment. But it looks like I'm okay there, so I'm going to go ahead and push these down. There at the end, you want to be a little careful not to strike it really hard to dent the wood. Again, I'm going to come down on this side. Now, it's much easier to support while I put this one on. So I'm going to make sure that I'm flush here and pushing those in, and I'm going to go ahead and nail this piece on. Now we have our two sides attached to our front and back, and we have our support pieces inside there. Take your hand and just lightly rub it over where your nails are. If your nails have to be set down just a little bit more, lightly wrap them. so they're flush. But be careful not to hit too hard or you'll dent the wood really. So going along there, these ones all seem nice. That seems nice along there. And there we are. So that's your next step, putting on your signs. Remember, follow the directions very carefully. Make sure that you're being accurate with your measurements as you go through. And your box should look like this at the end of your session. Have fun with this.